Changing weather in the Midwest is nothing new for those who live here, but how often are we really prepared for it? On November 17, 2013, we watched as a major tornado outbreak ripped through several states and devastated the small town of Washington, Illinois.
Litter and clutter everywhere.
Randy Mattoon with Country Financial remembers it well.
A town about 25 miles away. I have coworkers that lived there, and several of us were there on site the next day. One particular person that I worked relatively close to in my division lost his home. Interestingly enough, they went to their safe place in the basement. They grabbed the dog, they grabbed the fish, or the bird, I can't remember which, and they're in the basement. They, in their case, the house, was hit, it collapsed. They were actually trapped in their basement because the walls caved in on top of the stairwell. So after a fair length of time, they were able, to get out of the basement.
Randy says for miles you could see the direction the tornado took as it tore everything in its path.
It was such a chilling scene to stand in what was their living room and look across the subdivision and have an unobstructed view for miles.
Today, insurers are continuing to work with policyholders in the rebuilding process. They have already paid $1.1 billion in claims to help jumpstart the recovery in 6 states, and over $500 million went to help those in Illinois.
For individual families, some of them started very early, with reconstruction, and repairs are generally the thing that hits the ground first. It's just, I lost shingles on my roof, so can that be a quick in and out, and this happened kind of late in the year. So there were a lot of those types of repairs that were done, whereas other people who lost their entire home, had to work with contractors and their insurers, to get a plan going, get something, on paper and blueprints, etc., and permits to start a reconstruction process. And but there are so many things that we can do, to prepare ourselves. There's so many things as an insurer, that we can try to put life back together as best possible.
But there are things you can do to be prepared for the next event.
It's a critical step to say, I need a plan, and that plan should follow all the way through to the point that you envision yourself in the safe site in your home, and you have all of those things that you say you should have. The first aid kit that's up somewhere else in a house that's now gone, doesn't do you any good when you're in that safe room in your, in your basement. So make sure that all of those things, to protect yourselves and support yourself while you're in, that safe site, are there and in place. Make sure you've inventoried your property, and that you have provided your insurance agent, or you have some other site, where that's available in the event that your home, is destroyed. So it's kind of just think through what if it was me, and if it was my home that's gone, how would all of the pieces come into place? And I think that's a critical part of saying, I have to have a plan. Hope you never use it, but have it.
In Washington, Illinois, for PCI, I'm Brooke Kelly.